Well, hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Cowboy Survival. I'm Richard, and today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the 10 most important things you need to carry with you when you go on your day hike. Last week we talked about the 5 things you need to do when you're prepping to get ready to go out for that first day hike of the spring. Today we're going to talk about the 10 things you need to have in your backpack. I've got my sling bag on today. We're going to talk about the bag a little bit, how comfortable it is, how comfortable it might not be, what kind of things will fit in it, what won't fit in it. But we're going to get into this and talk about the 10 most important things that you need to carry with you, and maybe a couple of bonus items on top of that. As we talk about the 10 things that you must take with you when you go on your hike deep into the woods, we're not talking about just a short walk on a pathway. We're talking about spending the whole day in the woods, maybe not near people, out there in the wilderness. And so you want to take things with you that, number one, sustain you and that you'll need as you go through the day. You're also going to need some items that are there for emergency purposes. You might need them, you might not, and you can always enhance what I'm going to show you with adding some things of your own. For example, I don't have in this backpack here a pair of glasses, but normally I would carry a pair of glasses with me because I need extra pair of glasses, but this wouldn't be the thing that most people might want to include. So let's go open this bag and take a look at some of the things. The first thing that we're going to need is a container of some sort. And what I carry with me is my Nalgene bottle. And if I can get it out of the package, my Nalgene bottle holds 32 ounces of water. This is a plastic one. Now you can get the clean canteen, which you can get at Walmart for about $25 or so. They're really nice because they're single-walled stainless steel, and you can actually boil water in those if you needed to. Now what I've got in my backpack to go with this is I've actually got a aluminum or a stainless steel cup that I can carry so I could heat water over a fire with that if I needed to. So my container. Now later on we'll also look not only at my container again, but we'll also look at the water purification system that I use. So the next thing that we're going to want to have is cover. So inside my backpack I've got a poncho, a Terramie poncho. Now you could take an emergency poncho, which will be smaller. I like this poncho because if I had to, in a pinch, I could set it up as a shelter. I've done that before. I've got videos on that. So my Terramie poncho is a really great poncho to use and to carry it with me. It's light. It is a little bulky, so if you're trying to save space, an emergency poncho might be better for the purposes that we're talking about today. Now, combustion. So what do I do for combustion? You've got to have a way to make fire. So I've got a couple of items. First thing I have, of course, is a lighter. You should never go out anywhere without having a lighter as part of your EDC. This lighter has got duct tape wrapped around it, probably about 3 to 4 feet of duct tape. Not a lot of duct tape, but enough that I could tear off a little piece to maybe patch my clothes. I could certainly tear off a small piece to start a fire with as a fire starter, because this stuff will burn. But I've also got my lighter, and this is going to be a very useful tool to me in the field. Now, what I also carry with me is I carry some little fire plugs, fire starter plugs, that I can break these up and use these to start a fire with. And I've also got a small ferro rod with me. I always carry a small ferro rod in every one of my bags, and of course that does really nicely, and I can start a fire. So between my lighter and my ferro rod, I think I could get a fire going if I needed to. So those are the 2 things that I use for my combustion. So we've talked about container, cover, and combustion. The next thing we want to talk about is cutting. So I've got several things for cutting. Actually, I've got 2 major ones. So the first one is going to be simply a pocket knife that I've got here that I carry with me. This is, gosh, I'm not even sure where this is an Ozark Trail pocket knife. I think I paid $5 for this thing, but it's really not a bad little knife. It's my backup. It's a pocket knife. It's got a little liner lock in it. I think I may have done a video on this at one point. Is it a super knife? No, but this is not my primary knife. This is my backup. For my primary knife, I carry a, if I can find it, I carry a Holtzman neck knife. I don't carry the full-size Holtzman in this bag because, again, this is just my stuff that I need if I'm going out for a day hike. This blade is extremely sharp, razor sharp, I would say, and it goes in this knife. I can carry this if I need to. I could carry it. It's got a little pocket clip here. I could carry it on my belt, or I could carry it around my neck if I wanted to. I don't really like carrying them around my neck because they bang around a lot, so I'd probably put this on my belt. It also has a small ferro rod with it, so I could use that if I needed to. So that's a third way to start a fire should I need to. So this is a really nice knife. I like these Holtzman knives. They're very thick, they're full tang. If you had to do any kind of batoning, you could with this knife. It's not very big, you can't baton anything really big with it, but you could do some small batoning with this because it is a full tang knife. It's about probably about a 2.5 inch blade. It's not very long, not very powerful, I don't think. But this knife would do very well for me if I needed it. And I've got my Ozark Trail flipper as my backup. So I've got two ways to cut. I don't have a saw in this, but I don't think I need one. I could always get one of those small, well, that's blowing all over the place. I could always get one of those small, you know, combat saws that has the wire and the 2 rings on it. I could always put one of those in there. I actually have one, I think, that came in my Harbor Freight survival kit. I don't really know if those are useful. I guess I could put that in here. Certainly wouldn't take up much space at all, and might be something really nice to have. What do I do for the next item on my list, which is going to be my cordage? So I always carry in one of these bags a hank of paracord. This is about 25 feet of paracord. It came undone a little bit there. I'll need to fix that. But I got my paracord, again, about 25 feet. This is not an actual, I wouldn't classify this as one of my ridge lines. I've got ridge lines that I probably ought to put in here instead that actually have some prusik loops already on them. But this is a great, about 25 feet, I said, of paracord that I could use if I needed it. Could use it to string up my poncho or whatever I needed to do. And I can make, with my poncho, I could certainly make stakes with my knives and things that I need. Now, the next item I have on my list is communications of some sort. So the primary communication most of us are going to use is our cell phone. The thing is, when you go to a lot of these state parks out into the woods, a lot of times your cell phone is not going to work because you're not going to have cell phone coverage. And you need to think about that. As I mentioned in the video last week, when you get ready to go out to one of these locations, I think what you want to do is ask people what kind of cell phone coverage is available there in the place where you're going to be. In many of these state parks, you're going to have very little to no cell phone coverage. So you need to have some way to communicate. You could carry with you a small shortwave two-way radio. I'm not sure a walkie-talkie is going to work because those don't usually have much more than half a mile range. A really good GWRS radio would have 5 to 10 miles of range. You could take that with you. Or if you wanted to be a little bit safer, you could actually take one of the Garmin satellite locator beacons that you could take with you. You can get there. They're two-way. You can set off a beacon, so if somebody needed to find you, they could by simply tracking down the GPS of that particular item. So that's a really good item you could take with you, I think. But they're a little pricey. You may not want to add that to your kit, but who knows? But you got to have some way to communicate with other people that are not within 100 yards. So again, a GWRS radio would be really good to have, and I've got one of those. I just don't have it here in my pack with me. Now, a couple other things, calories. So I think you need to plan. If you're going to be out all day, you have to plan to eat, right? So I think you want to take a meal with you of some sort, several bars. I carry with me several of these protein bars. I like these Zone Perfect bars. You can't really get these anymore, but any kind of bar that you have that you like, that you find is tasty, protein bar. These don't have a lot of calories in them. This particular bar only has 220 calories. So you'd want to take several of these with you. You might want to take some other food with you that you'd like. Some trail mix is always really good, gives you some fast calories and protein. As a diabetic, I've got to have some stuff with sugar in it so that I can get my sugar. I'm not too worried about my sugar getting too high during the day. I'm worried about my sugar dropping. When your sugar drops, you get disoriented, you can't move as well, you might even pass out. So you don't want your sugar to drop too low. So that's why I would carry these and some other probably more sugary items that I could have in my backpack so that I could keep my sugar up. I'm worried about my sugar going down too far, not my sugar going up as much as some people might. Now, cures. You've got to have some kind of first aid with you in your kit, I think. So I have a little first aid kit that I got. I think I just picked this up at Walmart. I've modified it. It's got some bandages in it, some gloves. It's got some gauze in it, some antiseptic wipes. This is a really small first aid kit. You might also choose to throw in a tourniquet just in case you had a severe life-threatening injury. You could put in one of those and put that on before you called for help. But having some kind of a first aid kit with you, you want to have some Tylenol in there. I use Tylenol because I can take acetaminophen. With my heart attack last year, I don't need to be taking ibuprofen. But whatever works best for you so far as those painkillers, that can be a really big help. Put in some blister pads in here for your feet in case you start to get some blisters. I think a first aid kit, some kind of cure, is really, really good. So we've got our container, we've got our poncho too, we've got our cordage, our cutting tools, we've got a way to make fires. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got communications, we've got calories, we've got some kind of first aid kit, cures I call them, so that makes 8. I think a couple other things that we might want to include in there. 9 would be water purification. So I carry, for my water purification, I carry a Sawyer Mini, and I've got a separate video where I'm going to talk about that. I'll just cut to that video and you can see how I use that. So this is the system I carry with me on the trail if I need to refill my Nalgene. It consists of 2 basic pieces. One piece is a collapsible water bottle, and I actually got this from from Hydro Pack. They don't sell these anymore. I'm glad I've got a couple of them. They don't sell these things anymore, but they're really great. They collapse down, and then when you put the lid back on it, the suction keeps them from coming back out. But if you want to extend this, simply take the top off, and you just simply pull this out, and it's ready to fill with water. I love this thing. Just squeezes back in and it goes back. Now, what I've put on this thing is from Hydro Pack. I bought an adapter. So this is not the original top that came on this. This is an adapter with a special valve on it. This thing here closes up that valve and keeps it clean. And then what I do is I bought a separate adapter for my Sawyer squeeze. So this adapter here goes on the end of my Sawyer squeeze, which would normally go on, like, for instance, a water bottle. But what I do is I put this on here and I put it in there, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. And I can then, it attaches to that big wide mouth water bottle, but it attaches with this here, and I can use my Sawyer squeeze on a big bottle like that. So it's a really great system to put together. I will do a separate video showing all the components of this system and where you can get them. So that's what I'm going to use. Let me show you what it looks like when I've got it filled up and I'm ready to actually use it to refill my Nalgene. So as I said, I'm going to do a separate video on this system, but it's really great. Once I've got my expandable water bottle, my collapsible water bottle filled with water from the dirty source, what I can do with this is I can remove the little cap here, and then I can take my Sawyer Mini, actually this is my Sawyer squeeze, and I can just put it in here and it'll click in, and then I just click it in all the way. Then what I can do is I can flip this open and it will filter the water for me and come right out of there as clean water. And I can drink it directly out of here if I want to. Or I can use this to refill my Nalgene when it's empty. The dirty water touches this collapsible bottle, never touches my clean bottle at all. And when I'm done, I just take this out. I just take it and get the water that's still in there out by blowing on the other end, sort of cleaning it out. And I'm ready to put this back away in my mesh bag, and this will collapse right back down, and I'm ready to go. So that's my 9th item. Now, what is my 10th item? So I've got a couple of bonus items, I think, in here. Pair of extra socks. I mentioned in my earlier video, you should always have a pair of extra socks. When you get to your destination, you're gonna get to where you're going. I think it's really cool to be able to change your socks. Put on fresh socks for the walk back. It's going to give you an extra bit of energy. It's going to feel better on your feet. It's going to be healthier for your feet, and I think that's really important. Other things I've got, an emergency blanket I carry with me. This is part of my cover system, really. I should have put this with my cover, but I think having an emergency blanket to wrap up in at night is going to be really, really helpful and important, so that you can stay warm if you have to spend the night out in the field unexpectedly. These are my, again, part of my container system. I guess I could put this in here, but it doesn't fit in this really well. This is just a stainless steel cup. I think I got this at Walmart for $5. Really great. You can cook over a fire with this thing. You can heat water up, but you don't want to drink out of this because it's going to be really hot. If you heat water up and then try to drink out of it, there's a good chance you're going to burn your lips or burn your tongue. So I would use this to heat water with. I would not drink out of this because number one, it's going to have soot on it. Number two, it's going to get really, really, really hot. Okay, so I probably would not drink out of this. I'd drink out of this. This is actually an extra cup out of one of my Stanley 2-cup cook sets. I carry this with me in this. I just drop it down in here. And then in my backpack, my poncho just sort of squeezes down in that. And so it makes it kind of a nice setup. But this cup is going to be really helpful to me. I'll drink out of this. I'll heat with and cook with this. Now, again, if I've got a stainless steel bottle, I can cook in that. But then what am I going to store water in? I don't want to cook all my water. So I can pour out what I need to heat up. I can heat it up in this. I carry with me in these, anytime I go anywhere, I carry my little packet of coffee, tea, and other drinks. I also have some Propel in there if I need to put that in my water to get me some extra calories. So that's always in there. And I always carry a little spoon set because I want to stir my coffee. Now, another item that I keep in here is a light of some sort. So what I call a candle. So the C for candle, candle being for light. So this is just a little Olight IT3. Or i3T, I should say. It's a very small light, works with a AAA battery. Nice, about 200 lumens. It's not really, really bright, but it's bright enough to get the job done. And I carry this rather than carrying a headlight on a day hike. If I'm going to spend the night, and know I'm going to spend the night, I would have my headlight with me. But you can take a headlight instead of that light. But that light, that gives me some light. So that's another bonus item. So my bonus items so far are my cup, my socks, my blanket, and my flashlight. Now, you can always carry other things. I also carry my gloves on the side of my backpack because I always think you should have gloves with you when you go out. And the other thing I've got that I keep in this kit is a really small, really simple compass. This compass, I think, is going to be really important for you. It helps you to sort of know where you're going. Now, this compass is not a really good one. I got this at Walmart for about $3.50. I'm not real happy with it, but it's what they had. I got a better one somewhere in the house. I just can't find it right now. So the way this compass works, if I turn it really quick, it doesn't go immediately. I have to sort of coax it, but then it'll point north. And eventually, it points north every time. So it's not north yet. It's going slowly. You want to hold it level, and it'll point to north, just like it should. So this gives you an idea of where to go. And this one also is nice because it has a whistle. So if you need to whistle for some help, somebody who's close by and needed to whistle for help, you could. And it's got a thermometer on the back. So that's kind of cool, I guess. So nice little feature there. Have yourself a compass, because once you get out in the field, you've got your map with you, which I didn't include in this kit, but you've got your map and you're trying to find your way around. Being able to orient that map and decide the direction you're going to go is really important, because you're going to get turned around out there in the woods. You're going to forget which way is north, which way is south, east, and west. Having a little compass will help you to orient. If you know you've been walking north all day, you need to walk south. Having this will help you determine what direction you need to walk in so you can get back to your vehicle or back out of the park where you are. Now, the pack itself. This is the Rebo Gear sling pack. It's not a bad little pack. A couple of things about it I've found. It doesn't work real well in the winter, because if you got a big bulky coat on, the strap and the crossbody strap aren't particularly long, and as you put on bulk, it's harder to do that. Though I did take it with me when I went to London, and I wore a shirt, I wore something under the shirt, and I wore my coat, and I was still able to put this over my shoulder. I wasn't really able to buckle it around my waist from that, because it really wasn't long enough. The other thing I noticed, if you put this water in here and you carry this over your shoulder this way, the water weighs down a little bit and it can get a little sore on your shoulder. Now, this pouch did not come with the sling pack. This was something extra I added. And so this sling pack was not designed to have a water bottle on it. You could put your water bottle inside. If you didn't want to carry this and wanted to carry your water bottle, you could certainly carry it in there like this, in the backpack, and that might be a little better for it. And then I could put my poncho out here in this pack right here. It's a little lighter. I could do that as well. But when you put that extra weight and it's dragging you down, you do get a little weight on your shoulder, I noticed. It's also not particularly comfortable on your back. This particular pack doesn't form real well to my back, so you can feel it on your back. It can feel a little odd because it doesn't body form to your back particularly well. But for $29, I thought it was a nice backpack, and I haven't had any problem with it. Like I said, I wore it carrying it 60 miles in London and never had any problems with it at all. So I kind of felt like that this backpack did a really nice job for me. I also carry one of these, I love these clips here, these Hero clips. These Hero clips are really nice. If you've never seen one before, they can do all kinds of things. You can use it to hang your bag. You can use it to hang it on a table. It's just a really nice clip that you can use for your backpack. So I kind of like this thing an awful lot. And then I just put it on my hand. I just carry it on the handle on my backpack. There may be things that you would add to this that I haven't included. Like I said, I'd have my insulin, I'd have my glasses, I might have a little more extra food than just an energy bar. But these are the things I'm going to carry with me when I go out in the field. It might look like a lot, but honestly, this is bare minimum, I think, and it's what I need to get the job done. Well, there you have it. The 10 items you really need to have with you when you go hiking in a park or in the woods for an extended period of time, plus several bonus items that I carry that you may decide are not necessarily required, but things that you might find to be helpful for you. Hopefully this was helpful and informative to you. Remember what we always say, stay strong, stay prepared, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.